Well, hi there, good evening. Welcome to the broadcast on this 22nd day of August 2023. It is quite an eventful night. The world record holder Faith Kipyegon is expected to race at exactly 10:31 p.m. My hopes are high. What about yours? So that is something that we're looking forward to tonight. But before that, we've got quite a lot in store for you. Let's get started with the day's top stories.
There is nothing for you to eat from there.
Talks are a waste of time. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua blasts national dialogue, says it is personalized by Raila Odinga. Shock as village counts loss of lives and property after a dawn attack by Al-Shabaab militants. Relief for Pastor Ezekiel as court temporarily suspends decision by the Registrar of Societies to deregister the church. Well, our SMS line is 23993. Watch this bulletin live on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. I'll be captaining this ship tonight. We kick it off with a sad note where 2 people died and over 10 houses were touched by suspected Al-Shabaab terrorists in Nyongoro area along the Lamu-Witu and Garsen Highway in Lamu County. It is reported that the 2 were shot dead after armed assailants ambushed the lorry they were traveling in. The terrorists also raided the villages of Juhudi and Witu in Nkunumbi ward before setting ablaze 10 houses and a church at Salama village. The assailants also stole their goats, hens, and several other items in the dawn attack. Residents have been camping at Juhudi Primary School at night and returning to their homes during the day after an attack on the same place on 25th of June this year, where more than 5 houses were set on fire.
3 usiku tuliweza kuvamiwa na watu wasiojulikana na wakaweza kufanya madhara haya. Nimejua tu baadaye kana kwamba wameteketeza kanisa, lakini walifika karibu na nyumbani wakateketeza manyumba ya majirani.
Kulingana zile assessment ambayo tumefanya, kusema ukweli hali si mzuri. Takriban tunavyozungumza sasa hivi kuna mali isipokuwa tuseme kama mfano kuku karibu 42 wamechukuliwa, mbuzi karibu 22 pia nao wamebebwa.
Asubuhi ya kuamkia leo ile ya panda nguo ilikuwa kama saa 8 za usiku pale katika kambi ya GSU. Baada ya hapo asubuhi ya leo pia kuna ripoti ya uvamizi katika barabara pale sehemu ya Nyongoro, ambapo wamevamia ama waliweza kusimamisha lori na wakaua watu 2, dereva na conductor.
Well, that is a developing story that we are keeping tabs on, and we shall be informing you about it as and when the details emerge. Elsewhere, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has dismissed the ongoing bipartisan talks between the Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions, stating that nothing will come out of the dialogue that was expected to unlock the standoff between the government and the opposition. Speaking on Tuesday at the burial ceremony of the late Anne Musau, who is the mother of Mwala Member of Parliament Vincent Musyoka in Machakos, Gachagua said the talks were only meant to hoodwink Kenyans, since Azimio leader Raila Odinga has apparently met with President William Ruto and made his agenda clear on what he wants. According to the Deputy President, following the series of anti-government protests that had rocked the country, Odinga privately met with President William Ruto in Mombasa, where he agreed to call off a truce, but on condition that his personal demands are met.
Hii mazungumzo yanaendelea, inaongozwa na Mheshimiwa Kalonzo. Hapo hakuna kitu mongoje. There is nothing for you to eat from there. Sasa 2018 Raila alienda handshake na Uhuru Kenyatta. Hakumwambia Kalonzo, hakuenda na yeye, akaenda akatengeneza deal yake na Uhuru Kenyatta, wakamalizana. Project zote alitoa kwa Uhuru akapeleka kwao. Kuna project alileta hapa Ukambani? Lakini nyinyi hata hatuelewi nyinyi. Baada ya kufanyia nyinyi hiyo tena mkamfuata tena mkaanguka na yeye. Nao ametafuta rais juzi. Hakuja na Kalonzo. Hakuna mambo ya Kalonzo aliongea. Aliongea mambo yake. Yes. Hakuna kitu ya Kalonzo alitaja. Aliongea mambo yake, ya mtoto wake, ya bibi yake na watu yao. Sasa hii mazungumzo ametuma Kalonzo. Pale kwa agenda hakuna maji ya Ukambani. Hakuna bolea, hakuna barabara. Kwa hiyo mazungumzo nini iko hapo nini Wakamba? Kwa hiyo mazungumzo. Mambo ya sava ni yenu. Ni yenu hiyo. What is Kalonzo talking there on your behalf? Amepatiwa agenda na Raila. Akitengeneza agenda na Uhuru na Ruto hakuweko. So Kalonzo ameambiwa kwenda sukuma hii mazungumzo. Sasa hii mazungumzo nyinyi nauliza nyinyi Wakamba, nyinyi mmesoma. What is it all about?
A businesswoman linked to drug trafficking and possession of cookies and sweets has been detained for 1 day pending a court ruling on bail. The JKIA Senior Principal Magistrate Njeri Thuku said she will deliver her ruling on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, on whether Nancy Endoveria Kigunzu will be detained for 5 days pending investigations. Kigunzu, who is popularly known as Mathe Wangara over her alleged drug deals, will be remanded at the ICD police station. An application filed in court by Sergeant Stephen Chesire seeking to detain Kigunzu indicates that during the time of operations which led to the arrest of the 3 other suspects, she fled from police arrest. Chesire said weighing and sampling of the alleged drugs was done in her absentia. Well, that is one of the stories we'll also be following up tomorrow, as Mathe Wangara, popularly known, will be presented before the court magistrate and her fate will be decided whether she will remain in police custody pending investigations or will be released on bail. Elsewhere, a suspect linked to the murder of a detective with the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, was Tuesday morning shot dead in a dramatic shootout in Kayole, Nairobi County. According to a statement from the DCI, John Kamau, also known as Farouk, died in a Tuesday morning gunfight with officers after defying orders to surrender. This is the second suspect of the gruesome murder of DCI detective who was killed by a 3-man gang while in the company of his wife. Our reporter Geoffrey Wanyoike has more.
One of the individuals involved in the premeditated murder of Detective David Mayaka in Kayole 2 weeks ago has been fatally shot by detectives. The suspect, John Kamau, also known as Farouk, was killed this morning after he had refused to surrender and instead opened fire on the DCI detectives who had cornered him. Kamau was armed with a pistol that was used to take the life of the detective. The suspect emerged from his apartment in Jiru sub-county and shot at one of the detectives, injuring him. This prompted his unit to retaliate, resulting in Kamau's death. The operation was conducted by an elite team of sleuths from the Crime Research and Intelligence Bureau, with backup from detectives in Soweto and Jiru. The firearm used in the murder was recovered, along with several mobile phones that are believed to have been obtained through various means. Preliminary investigations conducted by ballistic experts at the DCI National Forensic Laboratory have linked the firearm to over 5 armed robberies that occurred in Nairobi and Kiambu counties over the past year. These robberies targeted M-Pesa outlets in densely populated residential areas such as Kayole, Buruburu, Dandora, and Dagoretti. Last week, one key suspect in the murder, Alex Wanjiru, was arrested in Kikuyu, Kiambu County. Wanjiru was the rider of the motorbike used by the gang on the night of the murder. He was apprehended at his grandmother's compound in Rudhingiti village where he had been hiding. The red Boxer motorbike used in the crime was also impounded. A manhunt for the third suspect, Henry Njihia, who is believed to be armed and dangerous, is currently underway. Detective Mayaka, who was based at DCI Makadara, was driving home with his wife Kemunto on August 8th at around 10 p.m. when they were accosted by the three-man gang riding in a motorbike. The officer had stopped his vehicle to change a flat tire when the thugs struck, and in a heart-wrenching scene that was captured by CCTV cameras mounted at an adjacent building. Meanwhile, the injured detective is recuperating at a city hospital and is in stable condition. Reporting for EBN News, my name is Geoffrey Wanyoike.
The High Court has temporarily suspended the action of deregistering Pastor Ezekiel Odera's church. This comes after Ezekiel's representatives, led by lawyer Dunstan Omari, filed an application on Tuesday for a review of that order. The decision by Justice Jairus Ngaa also prohibited the Registrar of Societies, its agents, or anyone acting on its behalf from disrupting or obstructing the operations of New Life Prayer Center and Church. The church is among the 6 churches that were deregistered. Others include Good News International Ministries, owned by Pastor Paul Mackenzie, who is currently in detention, Helicopter of Christ Church, led by Thomas Wahome, the Theophilus Church, and King's Outreach Church, linked to Prophet David Owuor. National Assembly Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi now wants the DCI to begin their probe into the attack on Kirinyaga woman representative Njeri Maina by knocking on the doors of the county governor Anne Waiguru. Wandayi, speaking during a parliamentary session on Tuesday afternoon, opined that Waiguru's alleged involvement in the chaos that saw Njeri hospitalized with injuries needs to be looked into. This, he said, was due to claims that the perpetrators of the said attack, who reportedly arrived on the scene in 3 Toyota Probox vehicles, were acting on instructions from the Kirinyaga County government.
But arising from the remarks by Honorable Doris Dony, it would appear that the Honorable Maina, without really speculating, it would appear that Honorable Maina was attacked by goons who came in what she called proboxes, and that these goons were supposedly working on behalf of the county government of Kirinyaga, probably the governor, of course. Mr. Speaker, we must condemn violence in all its shades and forms. Violence is violence, whether it happens in Kondele or it happens in Kerugoya. Mr. Speaker, so this atrocity which has been meted against our own colleague by the county governor of Kirinyaga or her agents, it needs to be investigated very, very expeditiously, and stern action taken against the financiers and the perpetrators of this heinous act. I saw the lady, the young MP, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Maina, she's my friend also. I saw her in very bad shape in social media, having been attacked viciously. In fact, she was holding onto her head by goons hired by the governor. That is not acceptable, Mr. Speaker. We demand that the governor of Kirinyaga be summoned by the DCI so that she can record a statement and, if possible, be taken to court. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Murang'a County Governor Irungu Kang'ata has reshuffled his cabinet and ordered 5 medical superintendents in Murang'a Level 5 and 4 hospitals to resign in fresh changes aimed at restructuring the county health sector. While citing the alleged widespread complaints from residents of a poor service delivery at the health facilities, the governor said the superintendents have until September 7th to relinquish their positions. Furthermore, he directed the automation of systems in all 157 health facilities in the county to help improve service delivery. Kang'ata said there are complaints of lack of drugs, despite the county ensuring that there is adequate supply, pointing out that there is a possibility of drugs being smuggled out of the facilities.
The county has decided to make the following changes. Number one, CEC Public Service, James Gatuna, moves to Public Service Department. Moves from Public Service Department to Lands Department. Dr. Winnie has been moved from Lands to Public Service Department. Number two, Chief Officer Nanjala Kioko has moved to Education. Kennedy Kehato has moved to Department of Culture. And Isaac Karoga has moved to Health Services. Three, the Transport Manager, Daniel Buru, has been redeployed to Department of Health. The new Acting Transport Manager will be Frida Waithera. The officer in charge of fuel will be John Gedambo. Mushoki has been moved back to accounting duties. In the health sector, the county has decided that the future deployment of medical superintendents will have to undergo a suitability test conducted internally by a committee in consultation with the county secretary and the CEC in charge of health. To implement these changes, all medical superintendents in our level 4 and level 5 hospitals are hereby directed to step down from 7th of September 2023. The chief officer in charge of health will issue a notice tomorrow inviting applications for doctors interested to act as medical superintendents in respective hospitals. An objective suitability assessment test will be conducted, and the top 3 doctors will then undergo an oral examination before a committee to be constituted by the Chief Officer Health and the County Secretary. The successful candidate will serve for 1 year renewable term, and the renewal stage, a client satisfaction survey, will be conducted to determine the necessity of renewal.
Now, the Democratic Action Party of Kenya has endorsed Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya as its new deputy party leader. The party, which is part of the Azimio One Kenya coalition, is led by former Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa. Natembeya, who was elected on a DAP-K ticket, will now be Wamalwa's second in command in the party leadership. Natembeya was formally endorsed by the party's National Governing Council in Kitale on Tuesday.
Deputy party leaders ama naibu wa kiongozi wa chama cha DAP. Asanti kwa members wa General Council, na ni furaha yangu sasa pia kujiunga na uongozi, kukaribisha wewe kama naibu wa kiongozi wa chama chetu.
Chama wa chama cha DAP, ningependa kukaribisha wewe Mheshimiwa Excellency George Natembeya kujiunga na uongozi wa juu wa chama chetu cha DAP. Vile umekuja hivi, najua you have a lot of value in this party. Na hata nafikiri hata watu wengine watashangaa sana kwa sababu tunataka kupata nguvu sana. Sasa pia nachukua kofia hii kupatia wewe kwa kichwa, ishara ya kwamba sasa wewe ni kiongozi wa chama chetu.
Grief has engulfed the Baragoi area of Samburu North County after a high school teacher of Baragoi was shot by bandits and died in the Lesidai area of Samburu Central. Speaking to the media, the former women representative in Samburu County, Mason Leshomo, has strongly condemned the brutality while pointing out that more than 70 people have been killed through these bandits this year in the Samburu area.
Watu wamekufa hapo zaidi ya watu 70. Kila wiki wamekufa. Kila siku wamekufa. Leo hii kuamkia leo mwalimu amewawa. Na ni kijana mdogo juzi tu ndio ametimu kuandikwa. Kijana mdogo sana. Amewawa leo mwalimu. Sasa nataka kuuliza ni nani atakufa hapo ndio ijulikane watu wanawawa. Ni nani huyo muhimu atakuja kukufa hapo ndio ijulikane watu wanawawa? President William Samuel Ruto, wewe ndio president wa Kenya sahi. Ninaomba jaribu, bila unaenda kila pahali, jaribu piga kufika hii belt ya Wasamburu. Jaribu fika hapo upate kujua ni shida gani yuko hapo. Na naambia leaders wale wako kwa kiti sahi, mjitokeshe, tushikane wote, tuelewe ni nini inaendelea katikati ya Samburu.
A young couple from Kagumori village in Manyata constituency, Embu County, were parents to quadruplets born nearly 2 years ago, were given presents by the county governments. County staff led by Chief Officer of Gender and Social Services Bansi Wawira and her medical services counterpart Jane Karimi gifted the family of Ann Mugai with cash, assorted foodstuffs and baby items. Mugai, a mother of 5, delivered the babies, 3 girls and a boy, in 2021 at Embu Level 5 Hospital following her second pregnancy. She revealed that in her first pregnancy she delivered twins, but one passed away after developing complications, while the surviving sibling is currently in grade 2.
Hii ni baraka kubwa, na hata mimi sijaisikia kitu kama hiyo tena. Tumesikia watoto 2, 3, lakini watoto 4 sijawasikia. Na leo tumefurahia sana kufika katika hii kijiji ya Kagumori, Katuri South, Manyata constituency, ili kusalimia watoto, ili kuwapatia ujumbe wa gavana wetu ambaye alituambia anawapenda, ili wanjue kwamba wako peke yao. Na tumefurahia sana, tumekuta watoto wamelea vizuri, 2 wanatembea vizuri, lakini 2 wamelemewa kutembea. Na kwa sababu nimekuja pamoja na washikandau wengine, niko na Chief Officer wa Medical Services, Chief Officer Jane amesema ya kwamba atawafuatilia hao watoto ili waweze kusaidika katika hospital yetu ya Level 5 Embu. Tumesema ya kwamba hao watoto tuendelee kuwashikilia. Tunajua hata kulea mtoto mmoja ni shida, ni ngumu, lakini huyu mama amelea watoto 4 na tumefurahia sana, wako na afya, na tutaendelea kumsaidia, tutaendelea kushikana na wengine ili hao watoto waendelee kukua.
Kuni support ndo juu hii safari ya kulea hao watoto 4 imekuwa stress. Juu sometimes hadi nakosanga chakula, fare kupeleka watoto therapy, hadi kuajiri msichana sometimes inakuanga stress juu lazima anahitaji pesa. Chakula pia ni shida. Hiyo safari ya kulea hawa watoto 4 imekuwa.
Well, indeed quite an initiative, a good one for that matter, from the county government to assist the parents. Most county hospitals in the country will continue to experience drug shortages if the process of acquiring drugs from KEMSA is not changed. While receiving medical drugs donation worth 1.7 million shillings to boost Machakos hospitals, Machakos County CEC for Health Daniel Yumbia urged residents to be patient with the county health department as the process of acquiring drugs from KEMSA takes a bit of time. Machakos County hospitals have been hit by drug shortage, forcing residents to seek alternative ways of getting health services.
Kumekuwa na fununu mara kwa mara, huu hospitali haina dawa. Nimeenda pale, nimepata Panadol peke yake. Ningalipenda kusema ya kwamba process ya madawa katika ugawaji wa madawa katika hospitali zote za county na za serikali ni kwamba ukipata madawa yanaendelea yakipungua, na kuna wakati ambapo madawa hupungua. Kwa sasa tuligawa madawa katika county ya Machakos mwezi wa Mei, na mwezi wa Mei, mwezi wa June na mwezi wa Julai. Sasa tuko mwezi wa August. Kwa hivyo madawa yale tunatarajia sasa kipindi cha mula wa kwota ya kwanza ya serikali tunatarajia wiki ijayo. Tunajaribu juu chini kuona kama ikifikia Ijumaa ama Jumamosi tutayapata.
Residents living near rivers and mountain areas in Kakamega County have been urged to plant indigenous trees in abundance to preserve water sources so as to fight climate change. A social organization in Kakamega has started projects to plant indigenous tree seedlings to conserve the environment. The group, led by activist Caleb Burudi, plans to plant about 1 billion trees to meet President William Ruto's call to plant 15 million trees in the country by 2032.
Tumekuwa kwa hii mambo ya miti kwa miaka 2.5, miaka 3, na mazumuni yetu ni kwamba tungetaka kuona nchi iko salama. Mambo ya climate change ama mnasema tabia nchi umekuwa zaidi, na tunafurahia kwa sababu sasa wakati huu hata tunapozungumza ni kwamba kama dunia sasa imeelewa shida na changamoto kubwa ya hii mambo ya climate change. Tunalenga mambo ya kuweka miradi ambayo itasaidia watu, hasa mambo ya carbon credit ama credit market, na tunatazamia kuangalia maeneo ambayo yanaleta mvua. Watu wamelima, miti imeharibika, sasa mito imekauka, na hatungependa kuona nchi ikiendelea namna hiyo. Tumeshirikiana na watu wengi. As I speak today, tuna mikataba na watu wengi, vikundi nyingi. Kuna kikundi inaitwa WeatherTech. WeatherTech ni watu ambayo wataalamu wa mvua, ambayo tumekubaliana ya kwamba tutashikana kuhakikisha kwamba out of the 15 billion seedlings, sisi tujaribu tuweke 1 billion. Na itakuwa hapa nchini Kenya, na vile vile tunatazamia nchi kama 3 zingine za Kiafrika. Our vision is to impact seriously on the climate change programs in this country and Africa as a whole.
Now, Mwingi Central Member of Parliament Gideon Mulyungi has asked the Kitui County Governor Julius Malombe to fight corruption in the area, alleging that there have been cases of misappropriation of funds in the county. Furthermore, he has called on the governor to lead by example and ensure there is equal allocation of resources to all areas in the county. Meanwhile, he also urged residents to report cases of corruption to ensure that there is good governance.
Gavana wa magavana wamesimamia pesa yetu, hiyo ni pesa yetu. Tunataka Ruto amulike magavana na ile torch kali. Kwa sababu kuna magavana ambao wamechukua usukani kukula pesa yetu. Kula pesa yetu. Umenyane na hii watu. Ndio utajua watu wako na akili, wako na masikio, wako na macho. Pesa yetu haiwezi kukulwa na watu wa Kitui mara mbili. Nitakuwa mstari wa mbele, nitakaa laini yangu na laini yako. Kukumulika na macho. Hata wewe ukitaka kumulika, unimulika, kuja unimulike. Mimi sina shida.
Now, what is the weatherman saying? Most parts of the country will remain dry this week, and the latest weather forecast has showed that. The 7-day forecast by the Kenya Meteorological Department released on Tuesday, however, shows a few areas will receive rainfall during the forecast period. They include the highlands east and west of the Rift Valley, the Lake Victoria Basin, the Rift Valley and the coast. According to the forecast, several parts of the country, including the coast, northeastern and northwestern Kenya, will experience temperatures as high as 30 degrees Celsius during the day and strong winds. Counties in the highlands west of the Rift Valley, the Lake Victoria Basin and the Rift Valley are predicted to experience sunny intervals during the day and partly cloudy nights. Business news. Private investors in the country have been urged to create more job opportunities in order to realize the government's agenda of creating jobs for the youth. In the process of creating job opportunities in the country, Optiven Limited aims to create 30,000 job opportunities by the year 2030. Optiven's CEO, George Washiuri, launched GMC Restaurant, saying it is meant to cater to the families of clients. He also added that the main branch will be opened in Nanyuki, and their goal is to have as many restaurants across the continent as possible.
Policy for supporting the entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs need to be taken care of because these are the people who create jobs. These are the people who pay the most taxes. These are the people who will change Africa. For the last 5 years, we have lost over 2.2 million businesses. Yani, business has gone down. When those businesses go down, what happens? The jobs are lost. So we must take care of our businesses, and we are going to encourage people like KEPSA, Kenya Private Sector Alliance, people like the Chambers of Commerce to keep supporting businesses across, because at the end of the day, Who encourages the entrepreneur? An entrepreneur needs encouragement, and can only encourage these entrepreneurs by giving favorable working environment. And we are proposing that the people who are registering new businesses, they can be given 3 years tax waiver, 3 years tax waiver, whereby they are able to stabilize, they are able to do their books. The third year, they can now say, these are our books, and now they can be able to start paying licenses, to pay taxes, so that we incubate these small businesses.